Big Sales National Football Show. Please hit the like button. We appreciate everybody coming aboard this 4th of July weekend. Got to tell you, one of my favorite weeks of the year, and when I grew up in Stanford, 4th of July, you had Babe Ruth baseball. You go down to the Cove. You go down to West Beach. Man, it was such a great time growing up there in Stanford, man. You go play a couple games at Cubetta if you were in the Babe Ruth League. My friend, I've told you many times, hit a baseball over the roof at Cubetta. Still legendary to this day. I'm sorry. It was one of the most it was one of the most impactful things I saw. And you're like, damn, that guy hit it over the roof. Right Tech, I think it is, that he hit it over the roof. And that's such a great time, man. With such a great sports community there. And I've known Garry Cobb for all these years. He was at a football event last week. And now he's here with us from Fox 29. Our good friend and former Eagle, Garry Cobb, joins us now. G. Cobb, man, growing up in Stanford, 4th of July weekend, man, nothing like it, right?
You know, I was there a couple of weeks ago. Went up, I don't know if you remember Herm Allswanger.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they had, in fact, one of the guys that we had played with, the guy by the name of Garry White, was playing on the basketball team. He's a lawyer, and he became a judge, and he got this award, and so we all went back up there for him, and you had all the guys, and of course my cousin Ernie, who was a great basketball player and everything, he was up there, and Herm and all those guys. So, I went back to Stanford and everything, had a good time up there, of course, talking to everybody, and everybody's got a story, and talking about the sports, because really playing sports in Stanford as a kid coming up, you're thinking you're playing the big time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You really are, because they really it was a great sports town, and they really let you play, and you had the coaches there, and everything was run first class. So I really appreciated growing up in that environment,
Garry, isn't it so crazy that you and me played? I mean, Craig Bingham and Pazzulli and myself, you, all the guys that you and I played with, and guys who went on to play pro baseball, basketball.
Yep.
The guy from Norwalk, who went on to play and was a Hall of Famer, went on the conference that we played in. I think that's one of the most underrated places in the country that we played in. And when I tell this story, and I'm so happy, Yale, check this out. My wife doesn't want me to really tell the story that much, but when I was a super young kid, Jackie Robinson used to come to all these events and was like the keynote speaker. And when you were a super young kid, Jackie would walk in, and there he is. He lived in Pound Ridge. We'd go up to Larry O'Brien, the trophy that's named after he used to live up in Pound Ridge, right across from the Italian Center. I did his driveway, and I used to cut his lawn, Larry O'Brien. And so where we grew up, it was crazy that Jackie would walk in.
That's right. But you're right. I mean, I had at my little league banquet, Jackie Robinson. I mean, I'm going like, you got to be kidding me. I look back at it, and you see how powerful that is. I mean, what a major thing. I'm 11 years old. I got Jackie Robinson at my baseball banquet, shaking my hand for winning a trophy. I'm going like, you got to be kidding me. But we were very fortunate. We were very
fortunate.
Yeah.
Hey, let me get into this. Jaws last week on WIP questioned Jalen's leadership. Do you?
Well, I already see he's made some changes. He's already made some changes, which is, as the guy who is the key guy on the team and everything, and really the quarterback, you got to be talking to the wide receivers all the time. You got to be talking to your linemen and everything. You saw that from Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce's always over there communicating. And you would see Jalen over there sitting down, and these other guys over there, and he's over there kind of a stoic thing. I think he was focusing and, on doing his job, but I think he realizes, because I saw him over there at the workouts every time he came off the field. He's over there with AJ. He's with DeVonta. Well, DeVonta was there, but with Dallas Goedert, all those guys communicating. What did you see? That route, was that guy, you think we can run that again? Can you beat that guy inside? You got to be talking, and with the coverages and things defensively, the linemen talk. They're talking about their pass rush. Can you beat this guy? If I go ahead, if we run this certain game where you come inside, you got to be talking to each other. That's part of leadership. And so I saw him doing that. He wasn't doing that as much last year. I could sitting over there all stoic. Look, you know, years ago, let's say if Jim Brown, he's running, he knows he's getting the ball every down. There's nothing to talk about. Yeah, so he can sit over there. But in the game now, things are changing. They got all the strategy, you know. Hey, what if you run out and up on that guy? Can you beat that guy deep? You want to be talking all the time about that because the communication, and I can see that's what Kellen Moore is emphasizing, because you got to be communicating. And they talked about the fact that they're giving the receivers a lot of freedom to run routes, meaning that they won't say, well, you need to do this and this. No, I need you to be here at the end of this route. Now, if you want to give him a fake inside, if you want to shake him, whatever you want to do, you go ahead and do it. But this is where you got to be. And that's where they're kind of running the offense. So they're giving the receivers more freedom to do different things with their route. And with the fact that all of them are experienced, and you got guys that think the game and they're smart players, you got to have the communication. You got to be communicating. And then emotionally, you got to go, hey, man, look, let's wake up, everybody. Come on. Come on. Now, you might not say it that way.
Yeah.
But you're going to get these guys. Look, man, come on, man. Look, come on. We played 10 minutes, man. We haven't done a thing. And that offense is, with all the talent they got to be pushing themselves, because if they don't come out and jump on people and everything, it's something wrong, because they got so much talent. A lot of offenses have scored all kind of points. They didn't have this kind of talent. They got tremendous talent. But Jalen's got to be the one in the middle of that. He's got to be the focal point. So I think I could see he is more communicative, right? Even in the practices.
How about this, Gary? Tell me if you think this is a nothing burger. I really loved what I heard from Lane last week. He was on the Rich Eisen show, and he was asked some questions. He goes, have you seen the difference in Jalen Hurts this year? And what you're referencing, he goes, you know, they're doing barbecues more. They're like bowling. They're hanging out. Mm-hmm. He goes, it just seems that they're more accessible than it was a year ago on watching him and how he's trying to connect with everyone on the team more so than he did a year ago. But then, Gary, this baseball, softball tournament that DeVonta had, here was another opportunity. And again, tell me if you think this is nothing. When you're the face of a franchise today, isn't it expected that you calm the waters so that everyone has that public perception of what's going on, even though it may not be true? Because we came away with all these indictments about him saying, I don't know what Nick's job is. There was, again, another opportunity for him to right the ship and say, that was a you thing. You guys made that up. Nick and I are fine. Do you think he's got to be a better face of the franchise? And that has really nothing to do with playing. It's more about how it's being perceived. Because to me, there seems to be more to that position than just going out on Sundays and winning. Am I off base, or is it enough?
You can look at either way. And there are times, yes, when he needs to do that and things. He's not going to do that all the time. He's going to decide when he wants to and everything. But the big thing is they got to be cool. You know what I mean? Like you talk, hey, coach, you know we good.
Yeah.
You know, coach, you know we good. Call him, hey.
But is that important to tell the public?
Maybe I didn't do this, whatever it is, but they got to be good. Now, he don't have to say anything publicly if he doesn't. Sometimes he wants to, because he can't say anything all the time. So he's got to pick his times when he wants to step up and, let's say, reveal something that's going on. So he can pick his times when he wants to do that. But the bottom line is they got to be good. You know, whether whoever approaches who, you know, the coach and the quarterback got to be good. Meaning, like, they got to have a communication. And if somebody's got a problem, they got to go talk about it. They got to get it, flushed out, or however they want to do it. But, you're not going to get a public comment on everything as long as they are in good communication. But they do need to be flowing. They got to be able to talk. You can't have a thing where you got the head coach and the quarterback not talking, and not on the same page. You know, if he's got a problem with something, he's got to go there and go, hey, blah, whatever it is, let's get it out on the table.
Gary, do you think they've had a conversation where they smoothed that out?
Wait, say that again?
You think they've had a conversation, him and Nick, have smoothed that out if there was anything with Nick? Would that be something that you would want to have addressed right now after that week, a little bit of some of the comments that have been made? Do you think they went and had maybe somebody said, hey, you know, I just want to get the record straight here between you and me. We're good.
If it's something, they definitely need to smooth it out. I mean, that's part of the thing, meaning like, you know, I know that, you know, you have to be willing and able to play through some issues where maybe you got an issue with somebody. You got to be able to play through that and be effective. At the same time, you got to talk to each other. You can't be over here where you got this bitter thing against a guy you got to work with every day. You got to go, hey, look, man, hey, close the door. Hey, man, look.
Yeah.
What's happening, man? You know, you know, and you come from your side, or you find out what's happening with him. But you can't go through the season with these key positions, you know, at a war. You know, you can't not do that because emotionally and everything, and the game is emotional, especially like with the quarterback and the head coach, and the head coach is offensively minded. They got to be on the same page.
Did you ever have conversations like that with your guys?
Without a doubt.
O-line? Did you ever go to them, close door, and go like this? Hey, man, listen, you know, when I move you over to a 3 technique, I'm not doing it because I want to do it. I'm doing it because that's what the assignment is. Is that kind of the talk that you have with somebody?
That's right. Now, see, when I was in Detroit for like 3, I think 4 years, whatever, I was defensive captain. Okay, so that was part of my job. Hey, look, hey, what you call, man? Hey, come here, man. Look, I'm telling you to go inside. Hey, is there something going on? What is, you know, are you getting my call, or are you getting such and such's call? You guys got to get on the same page over there, man. They're running your side. You know, what's going on over here? You got to talk. You got to talk to guys, and especially if you got young guys. You know, right away, if I got a young guy around me, right away, I'm telling him, are you good? You know what you're doing, you know? Because, you know, you could get out there, his eyes real big.
Yeah.
And, you know, hey, look, come here, man. Relax. Dude, it's going to be all right. You know, you're going to be all right.
Hey, Gary, when you're young, hey, it's a 3 technique. What's that? What do you mean, what's that?
Hey, you better believe guys get in the game and they just freeze sometimes, you know, because they emotionally, it's a lot for them and everything. But the thing about it is, you know, you've got to be able to perform, and you got to be on the same page. And defensively, well, offensively, of course, you got to be very much in sync. Because defensively, you could kind of be a little off. As long as you're doing it aggressively, you mess up the offense. See? So you can be a little off. But offensively, you got to be in sync. I mean, the guy's got to know, hey, this is the route you're running.
Is that your biggest Is that your biggest concern, is the communication with Vic and his secondary and linebackers now, because there's a lot of new faces? Do you think not just with the scheme of it too? And again, think about it, Gary, like what you said, you're talking communication, and now you're talking about fits. You're talking about technique.
Yep.
I want you to tell the folks that's not a seamless transition where communication could take time. Now you're talking fits too, proper fits when you run defense or your pass coverage defense. Then you're talking strong side, weak side stuff, how your alignments are. How long does that usually take, especially when you've got new personnel, some sort of new different schematic look to it, and you've got a communication? You think that's seamless, or do you think that's still going to take some time?
Well, most of the time it takes time, you know, because especially, you know, you start getting into nickel, you know, you start getting into where you've got different people coming in the game. You got different people playing together, see? So that's all communication. And of course, the offense now with the motion, you know, where you don't see what formation they're going to be in until the last split second. So now these guys got to be talking to each other. Somebody's coming over. A guy's go, oh, I'm inside. You got to have somebody takes over. If both of the guys are looking at each other, now they're gone. The receiver's gone. You're looking over at him. You can't be. Somebody's got to take over and go, I got him. Or whatever. You got to have guys who will take over and be aggressive, because if you got two guys coming and a guy's coming in motion and the communication's not right, one of the guys is going to be open. See, because you're looking at each other, not the receiver. You're not looking at the receiver. So you got to be able to communicate with each other. But I think I saw about Vic is, though, they were talking. He had those guys talking. So he's emphasizing that. And the thing he does is, I see where, you know, he's got a good feel for the whole thing, is because he does not let you know. He's got these guys not really showing what they're doing until the last split second.
Oh, wow. I love that's like the Ravens used to do with that walk-up defense. So they're kind of trying to disguise it a little bit before they go to their that is so good, because that's the one thing that Jonathan Vilma told me that they used to do to Peyton Manning, was that because Peyton Manning would have all these audibles, but then he has the disadvantage of the clock. When it got down to 5 seconds, he had to set the offense. So then you're saying then they go to their positions and they go to where their alignments are. So they're not really showing it. That's a really big time deal. You got to have some really great communication to do that.
You got to have to do that. And I'll tell you this, that that's probably one of the reasons that Hassan Reddick is not there, because all their guys, everybody's going to be dropping at times. There's nobody going to be rushing the passer all the time. They're going to play it where each outside backer is going to be dropping sometimes. So there's nobody just rushing the passer all the time. And that way they keep the offense guessing. And then sometimes you're going to have guys going and the corners going, and you got the linebacker outside is dropping into the outside area. See, but they're playing a zone. But, you know, but here you got a cornerback coming off that corner, different things like that. I saw them showing different looks, and they were doing a good job of it. You can see talking is one of the things he's emphasizing, communicating, you know. So they look good. They really were ahead of the offense. But, you know, you expect that. But they were just putting in new things, but they were playing those different zone. They do a good job. They play man in the zone. They're jumping on guys and really trying to take away everything. So that's why they were knocking down balls and things. And, you know, they got some interceptions against the Eagles offense.
I like it. 2 last questions for you. Yeah, now I know why they traded Hong Kong Fooey Reddick, man. You see that outfit he was in, man?
Yeah, he wants to rush the passer.
Sandals on, had the umbrella, had the whole deal.
Hey, nobody's rushing the passer all the time. Nobody is.
Yeah, I got it, man. Hey, one last thing here. Do you believe that they're going to use Barkley the same way that they used Miles Sanders and DeAndre Swift, or do you think they're going to put another element in there and try to put another element in that offensive passing attack when it comes to this year? Or do you think they just want a better version of those two, and they're pretty much going to play them the same way?
I can tell you that they plan on getting Barkley involved in the passing part of the game, you know, because they were working. They were working with him coming out of the backfield, getting the ball in his hands on short routes, and they were emphasizing it, you know, where they would just, you know, where there were certain times where that was, and I understand it might be where these guys hadn't played together, you know, Jalen and Barkley hadn't played together previously. So they were getting used to those two playing together. So they were throwing the ball to Barkley a lot. And so I know they want him to be a part of the passing attack without a doubt. So you might as well know that. Sometimes, you know, he's shifting out, you know. So they're definitely getting him involved in the part of the passing attack. So I imagine it's going to get, you know, more complicated. But that was a big part of what they were doing, working with those two. Yep.
One last one here. You know, it seems that they want Kellen Moore to change more than they want Jalen to change, and they want to build an offense around Jalen. Well, then, Gary, why didn't they hire an RPO offensive coordinator if they were going to keep what Jalen does best? So you're going to go into this season with a coordinator who has never had an RPO quarterback whatsoever, because that wasn't Dak's skill set. So you're going to have him construct a brand new offense for Jalen, and he's going to be a play caller in that offense. Okay, so Moore's changing, but not Jalen, or is both? I'm confused here a little bit, because why didn't you just hire somebody like Shane or a guy like a Cliff Kingsbury?
Well, according to and listening to Kellen, you know, both of them are changing some, you know, and that he's changing some, and that, you know, they're bringing that part of the offense. And, you know, Kellen is bringing in the different things, and what they're doing is that they're working now to develop what it is, you know. So I think both of them are going to have to do some change, are making some changes. It's the way that he kind of communicated that. And we'll see. Of course, you don't know the running part of the game until, you know, they start putting out some shoulder pads and some equipment. So you really can't see what they're doing with the running game yet. But you're going to see all of that. They're going to incorporate some, you know, the where Jalen is running with the ball and all of that in. But they're just going to, you know, I don't think they know how it's going to look yet. You know, they're still kind of working on it, but you can see that they're communicating the whole time. So
hey,
we will see.
Let me sneak this one last one in. Do you think that they're going to use exhibition football more this year, or do you think they're going to stay status quo?
I don't think they're going to do it. Normally, from what I've seen with the Eagles, they don't really do much in those games. They'll do it in practice. Like, I know they're going to practice against somebody.
Yeah, Patriots.
Yeah, so they're going to practice against the Patriots. They'll do more there than they will do in the game, because I don't think they want to show everybody what they're doing. So they end up doing it showing more things in the practices.
Those organized team practices.
That's right. They'll do more there than they will in the game. They don't like showing. At least that's what I've seen out of them, is they don't like showing too much in the games in the preseason.
Do you think that's too risky, though, Gary? Because those aren't the quality reps you get in a game like exhibition football, especially when you have – I mean, you haven't really shuffled the deck yet at what you're going to do at second corner, what you're going to do at free safety. Can you really make a valued assessment on what you have at linebacker in the secondary with just going with organized team practices? When you guys do this, hey, all right, let's stop. Winning games, you know this. There ain't anything on script in a football game.
I know you're right. I know you're right about that. But they've done it this way since, you know, since they've been in, this crew has been there, since you had this coaching staff. So this is the way they've done it. You know, most time people don't change everything. You know, they have a certain way they do things. So what I've seen up to this point is they'll get into that scrimmage, the game where they got the team coming in, and they're doing everything. They got the guys going after. They're going live drills, and they're doing everything. And then get into the preseason games and don't show anything. You know, don't even let the guys play that much. That's way it's been so far. Now, if they change, we'll see that. I'll know that. But that's what they've shown so far. So that's what I expect.
Garry, great stuff, man. Absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for always finding time for us. You're absolutely sensational. Folks, don't forget Fox 29 throughout the season. He's so kind to come on here all the time with us as well. Garry, thank you, my friend. Have a great 4th of July, man.
All right, you too.
You bet. The great Garry Cobb. Yeah, man, that was fun growing up with Garry Cobb. Garry was a little bit older than me, but as I told you guys, me and him would be sitting there. I'm a couple years younger than him, and we'd be sitting in there. I'm like super young, 9, Babe Ruth. He's 11, and there's Jackie Robinson. Jackie passed, I think, in either 73, 74, so we were really young. And so, but I told you, the guy played golf with my dad. Incredible environment we grew up in. Absolutely insane. Xander, where are we in the like list, my friend? Please hit the like button, guys. Guys have been great during this 4th of July Monday week as we start this bad puppy here. 127, a little behind here, okay? We are going to need about 73 more this final hour. Let's kick that baby up. Final hour, we'll reset. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.